Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. And today we're going to be building up to frog pose, which can be scary and tricky for some people. So remember, always support your body, support yourself, your knees, whatever it is that you need as we do something. And as you need it, and as you become more open over time, then you might be less and less reliant on those props. And that is okay too. So for today, knowing where I'm going, I've got a bolster cushion here. I'm going to use that to support my middle section in frog. Also nice to have for Shavasana. And then I've got a couple folded blankets here that I will eventually use to help cushion my knees when we go into frog. And I've got a strap here for a stretch that we'll do towards the end. So coming nice and tall in our seat, zipping up from pubic bone behind the navel. Let's just take a moment here and settle in. So grow tall from crown to tail. And as you settle into your space, is there anywhere in the body that you could soften just a little bit more? So could you soften the shoulders, the hip, the jaw, the tongue? And then when you're ready, fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Just take a big inhale, turning palms away and exhale. We'll do that again. Palms up, big inhale. Palms turning away, big exhale. Let's go again. Last time, inhale. Reaching up there, touching palms together, exhale, hands and heart center. We're going to create an intention for practice today, but this is going to be your own intention today. So I don't have something specific for you. So what would you like to give or receive from this practice? You can always dedicate this practice to someone or something. Once you have that set, let's take a big inhale and reach. Good, let's get a nice side bend towards the left. So shoulders and hips are in alignment. Hips are going to stay grounded as you come over. And then we'll move through center. Let's take that into the other side and reach. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back up. Good. Taking it back over and reach. Good. You can go a little bit deeper now. You can choose to stay here, or when you're ready, you're going to open up, reaching. Belly button is in. You can always move this arm around to find a better spot for you. Good. And then we'll come back here. From here, if you want to seek for a roll, tilt the pelvis back a little bit around the spine, forehead in the direction of the knee, but not touching. Breathe and expand the rib cage. And we'll open up and lengthen, moving through center. Other side, taking it over. So remember, you can stay here, you can side bend deeper, you can choose to open up towards the back, or you can choose to come back center, tilting the pelvis back, scooping in the belly button, forehead in the direction of that knee, but not touching. Inhale and lengthen, exhale, engage, and come back up. Let's take a gentle twist and reach, and rotating from length to the left. Arms are going to come down, rolling shoulders back, looking a little bit more behind you. Breathe and expand. Inhale, lift. Exhale, center. Inhale, exhale, other side. Arms coming down, rolling shoulders back. Maybe looking a little bit more behind you. And then lifting up and coming back to center. Good. Let's take some seated cat cows here. So I'm just going to turn this way just so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Good. So I'm going to have my hands on my knees. I'm going to use my knees and my body as a little bit of leverage. Then I'm going to zip up here. Good. Now, keeping arms long, I'm just going to round as I come back. Good. There's your cat pose, and coming up into cow pose. And round cat, and cow, and cat, and cow, and cat, and cow. Good. Let's prepare to open up the hips for some deeper work, preparing for that frog. So I'm going to take my hands behind me here. Good. I'm going to take my feet a little bit wider than hip width apart, and I'm pushing into my hands. I want a long spine. So I don't want to slouch back here. You don't want to do slump asana or anything like that. I'm just going to windshield wiper from side to side. Now my belly button is in here as I shift from side to side. How deep you go from one side to the other is completely dependent on you and your body and what that feels like. Good. Now from here, let's come all the way over to the left, if you can. Your right hip's going to come up when you come over to the left. And coming up through center, let's take that over to the right. Left hip will come up when you go over to the right. And coming back center. Good. Now, from here, we're going to come into a log stack pose. So I will turn back this way so you can better see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start with my left leg as my base. So I'm kind of making like a right angle here. And then I'm going to take my right leg on top. Good. So I'm just kind of stacking here. And you're looking for ankles and knees to be in alignment. Your toes are going to come towards each other. A couple things. If you're really tight in this hip and your knee is up here, fill in the space. You can put a pillow under there. You can, take a blanket, depends on what your space is like. You can even fold it more this way if you want to put under there, different things that you can do. If you have tried that and you're like, nope, that's just too much, then take your front leg and put it forward, and that should take care of that. Okay, so I'm going to come back here. Good. I'm sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to do this one for a couple minutes. Good. And after the first minute, I'm going to give you the opportunity to fold forward with arms if you want that. But for right now, we're just going to sit here. Good. I'm thinking about relaxing through the hips. And if it would actually feel good to you, just take your hands and just kind of rub right along the side. This is an option sometimes. The body, you can kind of rub forward a little bit. You have a little bit of intuition already built within you. So you're going to know what would feel good to you and what wouldn't feel good to you as you go through here. Good. And belly button is in, and we're still breathing, coming back to your intention. Good. And as we approach the 1 minute mark, you can choose to stay here just like this, or you can take your arms out. My right leg is on top. I'm going to take my right arm on top. You can hug yourself, or you can wrap yourself. Good. You can stay here, or you can come forward a little bit here into a little bit of a hinge. I've got a long spine, so I'm not rounding or anything here. My belly button is in to support me. I'm breathing. Always good to reconnect with intention and breath. And when you're ready, good, we'll come back up, carefully undo the arms, undo the leg. Now, we're going to go into another little windshield wiper here just to work that out. So hands are going to come behind. And just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. And when you feel okay, we're going to go right into the other side. So now my right leg is going to be my base. My left leg is going to come on top. Good. Okay, so you want the ankle to the knee placement here. Fill in the space if you need to do that, or take this leg forward if you need to do that. And when you're ready, sitting nice and tall, again, you can go back into that rug if you need to. Belly button is in. So I like log stack, especially when I'm preparing for frog. Frog is extreme external rotation, and this log stack gives you internal and external rotations in different parts. So really nice. Now, as we approach that minute mark, good. We're going to take our arms out to the side. Left arm's going to be on top this time. You can hug yourself or you can wrap, kind of choosing what you need. You can stay here or zipping up with a long spine. You can come forward a little bit. Breathe. Reconnect with your intention. My intention was for people to be a little bit more open-hearted and loving, kind to others. When ready, we'll come back up and release. Good. Going back to windshield wiper again as you carefully undo. We'll come back and go on one side and the other. Let's continue our preparations with different rotations of the hips. So let's go into a deer pose here. And different people do deer pose differently. I like to think of it more, if you're familiar with Pilates Reformer Pilates, the Pilates Z stance. So my feet are over here, so this is where I'm going to start. So how I'm going to do this one is I've got my right leg here, good, and my left foot is behind, good. You can also sit up on a folded blanket if you need that. And then when you're ready, good, we'll do this one for a couple minutes too. Good. I'm going to be right here. Good. I'm going to lift and I'm going to twist. Good. So always twist from your length. Good. Roll that back shoulder open. Try to keep this back shoulder back as well. Try not to let it do funny things. Breathe and expand. And remember, if your body tells you that something's not right and you need to come out of here before the timer goes off, then honor that and come out before the timer comes off. Expand. Reconnect and breathe. There we go. Almost there. Good. And couldn't quite remember if I'd set that timer or not. Good. So from here, good. Carefully bring those legs around. Just kind of shake them out. I like to pat sometimes around the knees. That helps make them feel a little bit better and at ease, but you don't have to do that. That's just feel good to me. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. So now I'm going to take my feet over here. So I've got my left leg forward. Good. My other leg is just going to come out here. Good. Sitting up, nice and tall. Big inhale, exhale, find your twist. Towards the right, looking behind you, breathing and expanding. To reconnect to your intention, maybe even ask yourself, why did you choose that intention? Breathe, always coming and returning to the breath. So deer pose also gives you a nice neck stretch here too when you're rotating. And then gently come back. Good. Carefully come out of there, taking legs forward. You can go into a windshield wiper again if you need to. You can do your pat, whatever it is that you need. Okay, let's open up the inner thigh a little bit better before we come into frog. This is going to be a 3-minute hold. Good. So I'm going to take my legs out to the side here. Good. Good. Then I'm going to come to an anterior tilt of the pelvis. So that's what I just did. So basically, I'm taking my tailbone back, hip bones are coming forward, toes, knees, and hips are facing to the ceiling. And make sure that you're not at your wide as possible. You want to have a little bit of give there as your body kind of settles in. It needs somewhere to go. You can always put something underneath your knees if you need to keep them bent a little bit for support so you don't have to think about it. So from here, when you're ready, good. Let's take a big inhale and reach. Exhale, lengthen, 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 and then take those hands down. So I'm just going to be right here and I'm going to get kind of into my body, and my body let me know when it's a good idea or safe to continue folding forward. And how do you know that? Well, your body's going to want to fold a little bit deeper on an exhale. So you'll know. But if you also know that for whatever reason you've got something going on and that's not good for you, then don't do that. Breathe. Expand that rib cage on the breath. You can even go to a pranayama here. You can go into that box breathing. Maybe inhaling for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4. You can inhale for 4, exhale for 8, or maybe 3 to 6 breath is your better option. Trying to relax the shoulders. About halfway there. About a minute left. Good. And then from here, you're going to carefully come back up. I'm going to take my peace fingers between my knees and I'm just going to kind of pull them back in. And I'm just going to kind of take the soles of the feet together here for a moment, taking the knees out to the side. And I'm just letting myself get a nice stretch here. No folding or anything like that. I'm just kind of being nice and tall. It's a little bit of a different hip stretch, hip opener. And when you're ready, good. We're going to set up our space to take this into frog. Good. Now, I know that there may be some people out there that don't need anything. You can plop right into it. That's you. That's great. But my 44-year-old self in knees does need help. So I'm going to come into here. So I'm going to take blanket 1. I've still got this double folded. Come in there. Good. Blanket number 2. Double fold here, right on top of that first blanket. Good. And sometimes, you might need a third blanket or something under here, depending on the surface that you're practicing on. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Good. So I'm going to bring my bolster in here. And I have done frog before without it, but I never really know. So I always like to start slow and then gradually ease in. Now, we're going to be doing this one for about 3 minutes. So about halfway through, I'll tell you to turn your head in the other direction so you don't get a kink here. But I'm going to start. That's going to come all the way into there. From all fours, I'm going to turn my toes out to the side. And I'm going to let everything slide out here. So I like to keep the hip and the knee in alignment and knee and ankle in alignment. Good. I'm actually a little bit too far over to the side. Here we go. Good. We'll go out this way. Good. And then I'm just going to support myself here. You might need more than a bolster here. It's okay to put folded blankets or maybe 2 bolsters depending on your level here. Good. So hip, knee, ankle, toes are turned out. Good. I'm just going to turn and face you for this first one. And maybe I can come in this a little bit here. Good. And then I'm going to breathe. And be mindful that if you don't, you should feel some intensity here. So if you don't, it might be that your hips are too far forward. Sometimes my hips want to creep forward. So you want to try to keep them in this alignment. And as you open up, you might find, well, I'm in good alignment, but I'm no longer really feeling a challenge or like I'm working here. That might mean that you don't need a bolster or something under you that much or anymore. All normal. And I'm breathing, and I'm just going to let my body be the guide as it opens. And this should not be a really comfy pose here. You shouldn't have pain, but it shouldn't be something that you feel like you could close your eyes and go to sleep. It shouldn't be that kind of comfortable. Let's put this in my line of view here. And breathe. Always returning to breath. Always returning to intention. We're about at the halfway point now. So if you want to make any adjustments or turn the head to the other side, you can. Still breathing. Then we'll carefully come back up. So to get out of here, always follow your body. You know best. But I like to just take one leg slowly forward and then take the other leg slowly forward and then moving my bolster out of the way here. I'm just going to come to a nice little crocodile pose. So coming here, my toes are still going to turn out a little bit, but I'm just going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I'm just going to come through a few breaths here. You can also be in stillness. If that feels lovely, just a little bit of a different flow of energy after that frog. Then when you're ready, hands will come under the shoulders. Good. You can come up if it would feel good to you to do a little child's pose here or a roundy child's pose. Do what feels good to you. When you're ready, we're going to come on to our backs. So I'm just going to reset this. Okay, so we're going to come into a little stretch. So I'm going to bring in my strap here. A belt like you wear with your clothes will work just as well. Stretchy bands, those resistance bands and cords also work too. Good. So then once I'm here, I'm just going to get situated. Maybe a little windshield wiper, belly button is in. Good. And then let's get our stretch. So grabbing your strap here, I'm going to take this around the center part of the right foot, kind of holding on to the strap in the way that's best for you. We're going to keep a little bend in the knee here. Good. We're going to bring that in towards the face. Good. And breathe and expand. So stretching is okay. Pain, numbness, tingling, burning, never okay. So if you feel those, back off until you don't. Return to the intention. Always returning to the breath. Release. Good. From here, I'm going to take both straps into my right hand. I'm going to lengthen the left leg a little bit. I'm just going to take this into some circles. Okay. My belly button is in for stability. Just kind of working a little bit range of motion, working out any tension that may have come up during frog. And let's reverse that direction. Good. And then from here, lengthening that left leg, I'm going to take both straps into the left hand. Good. We're going to arc over 45-ish degrees. Wiggle around, find your stretch. Not everybody's best is directly across the body. But do kind of find that. And then if you want something a little bit more special, move the foot around. You'll know it when you hit that extra special spot. And so this stretch series is a great one to do maybe before and after you wake up, before you wake up, after you wake up, before you go to bed is a better way to say that. If you've had a long walk, hike, run, yard work, these are all great things to do. Belly button stays in though as you do these. You want to protect the low back. We'll come back up. Good. Let's switch out here. Good. So when you're ready, good. Find where you need to hold for your stretch. Micro bend that knee. We're going to pull in towards the chest. Find your stretch. Breathe. And when you're ready, good, we'll release both straps into the left hand. Good, just find those little circles. Good, and then let's reverse. Good, and then we'll come up. Good, switching the hands. So your right hand's gonna grab the strap, arc over 45-ish degrees. Find what you need, find your stretch, and then if you want something special, move that foot around. Like I said, you'll know it when you hit it right there for me. And coming up, good. We'll remove that foot from the strap. You can place that to the side. Good, I'm gonna bring my knees into the chest, and we're gonna take this final pose here into a basic supine twist. So it's gonna be 2 minutes on each side. So I'm gonna take my arms out, get knees are in tabletop position. I'm gonna let those knees go all the way over to the right. I'm gonna look to the left and breathe. And reconnect with intention again. I'm finding this supine twist here to be actually quite calming and lovely. I hope it is for you too. Okay. And then from here, when you're ready, head back to center. Let's keep this gentle. Let's take one leg at a time back to center. If you need to wiggle, wiggle here for a moment. Let yourself. Otherwise, knees in tabletop. And we'll take those knees over to the left. My timer here. Good. Looking to the right. Eyes can be open or closed. You choose. Breathe and expand. Belly button still stays in here. Even though this is supine and it feels really good, this is still active. When we let the belly go in a twist, it kind of starts to get funny in the back. So we want to keep that nice and happy back there. Good. And then from here, head back to center, one leg at a time, back to center. We're going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. Good. And then from here, we're going to go into our Shavasana. So I'm just going to use my legs to bring in that bolster. I love using a bolster in Shavasana when I have one. If you don't have one, you can also use folded blankets or pillows. It works just as well. And once you get where you're going to go, remember you don't have to be on your back. If it feels better for you to be on your belly, your side, knees bent, legs long, everything's level. Do what makes it feel good to you. And then once you get where you're going, see if you can make yourself about 10% more comfortable there. And we'll leave you here for a few moments, settling in, reconnecting with your breath, your intention, with your body. And taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choosing stillness or taking knees into the chest. Choosing to keep the upper body grounded, or maybe you want to tuck the chin and lift it up into a full body hug. You choose. And choosing stillness, removing any props that you may have used during your Shavasana time out of the way. Letting legs reach long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach it lengthen from the edge of the fingertips to the edge of the toes. Full body stretch, pointing and flexing through the feet, bending and stretching through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over to your right or left side, the side that works best for your body in this moment, taking all the time that you need here. And when you're ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you right now. Finding a nice tall spine, noticing how you feel, hopefully better than when we started. Palms up. Inhale, reach, 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 looking up there. Exhale, hands to heart center, reconnecting with your intention one final time. We'll take them to the forehead for good and true thought, to the lips for good and kind word, and to the heart for open and loving heart. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe, may you stay well, may you have a wonderful day, evening, week, month, season ahead. Namaste.